T20, but then as Swami rightly said that I'm not going to play for the country and this is the time, let me make some easy money and then slowly and slowly.
But you know, here you have an elite cricketer who's been part of 2 World Cup winning teams, whose IPL tag is around 2.1 crores.
Amandra, that's exactly what you need. You need a sports psychologist that may help a person. You might be going through a depression. You might be very upset by not making a comeback into the team. That is where a sports psychologist can come and do wonders for a player. How many sports psychologists do you see in teams?
You know, the format is never flawed. Okay, it's people who are flawed. I mean, the format, you know, this is 20 overs, there's a 50 over game, there's a 5-day game. Now, when you say, you know, are there matches being fixed or the results being fixed? I frankly, though a lot of people are talking about in the matches, the results being fixed, I think it's very, very difficult. Even though you might contend that in a format like T20, if you bowl a crucial no ball in the 20th or the 19th over, it can alter the result. But that's the nature of the beast. But when you do it in the same thing in the 50 over game in the last over, it can be the same thing. And in a test match, if we come down to the 3rd session on the 5th day, and you know, when there is some 30 minutes to go, and there are 2 wickets still standing there, and you know, you got to get a huge amount of runs, you can still go there. So this can happen always in any kind of form. You know, even in a test match where there are 15 sessions, you can have various kinds of permutation and combination in any place. The question is, are you going to get caught? And if you do get caught, what is the punishment that you might face?
Right.
I think those are the. I think the format is not flawed.
But the issue that Mr. Joshi flagged about players being bought and sold.
That is again a misconception. That's again a point of view. I won't even say it's a misconception. It's a point of view. Now, if you look at it, for years and years, we kept talking about the fact that people who represented India were the only ones who were benefiting out of the game because there were a huge amount of riches there for the test players and the one-day players. Now, when the amount of money became much better in, say, Ranji Trophy, I mean, the domestic cricket, I mean, the board at least awakened up one morning and said, okay, listen, we need to pay even the domestic cricketers. And then you had your education, sacrificed a lot of other aspects of your life. I think for that, if you make a decent amount of money, I think it's only justified. And if you know that you're going to make a decent amount of money, Indian parents are going to allow their kids to play. So your sporting prowess and your nation's sporting progress is going to happen. After all, if somebody is doing well for the country, I think he or she needs to be rewarded suitably. So I think there's nothing wrong with money coming in there. Maybe he doesn't like the way money is being given out. Maybe I don't find it objectionable. That's a complete point of view.
My only contention is that when cricketers are sold, how can the game be left unsold? Why should players have more money than what they are getting now? I mean, Gautam Gambhir can have 15 crore, or every player can have more than what they are getting. But why sell them?
I think it's you're trying to create a market value for a product. I mean, it's a product. It's like a toothpaste.
We don't make players commodities.
They are commodities, unfortunately.
No,
I mean, that is why television rights are going through the roof.
Okay, Mr. Jolly, you like to
I think Mr. Swami is sounding like a sports psychologist. I think he can do wonders for a team and get associated with any other team. But coming back to the point, the spot fixing, I personally feel it's not going to go away because it's.
Exactly, I agree with that.
I mean, it's not around the dressing room. It's in the entire country. It's beyond the borders of India. I mean, people are calling Pakistan and other countries, and you know they know what's going to happen. But I'm more concerned about the future of cricket. I mean, had there been a stricter punishment for people who were already caught fixing games, the senior players who played for a number of years, things would have been different. There would have been that little scare, you know, as they say, but you know, one little scare can put things off. So that hasn't happened. And I tell you what, these players were prepared that even if they get caught, you know, that limited punishment is fine with us, but we can earn a lot of money.
Stay with us, we'll be right back. It's a money-making enterprise.
Every team is now getting 10 to 12 professionals each. So that's a market for another 150 professionals. So I think it's an industry which is growing. Expertise also has to be looked at where sport is organized. So I think IPL has given you a chance, just the way it provided a chance for Sydney when it did the Olympics, or when the last couple of Olympic Games, or whether it's in China, they've become very good at that. Unfortunately, we messed up the chance when we had the Commonwealth Games, but let's not mess it up in the IPL also.
Mr. Jolly?
See, he spoke an arena which he belongs to.